Hey everybody, it's Wonder Chef of After Dark Gaming here with episode 2 of Top Tier Tactics. Today I want to talk about something that I think is surprisingly misunderstood for such a basic yet extremely important mechanic: meter gain and usage. In Mortal Kombat 9, you gain meter in just 3 ways, which may be odd to players of other fighting games. These 3 ways are A, when you take damage, B, when your opponent blocks your moves, and C, when you use a special move. Alright, let's look at exactly what it takes to build 1 bar of meter. As I said, losing life gives you meter. Losing exactly 50% of your life gives you exactly 1 bar. This means that each round that you lose gives you 2 bars, up to a maximum of slightly below 6 bars for a best 2 out of 3 game. No matter what moves hit you, you gain the same amount of meter. For this example, let's look at Sub-Zero. As you can see, he's starting out at 1 bar of meter. I'm going to hit his life down to 0%, and you can see exactly where his meter goes to. And as you can see, he hits X-Ray exactly as he hits 0%. So half of your life is 1 bar, all of your life is 2 bars. Alright, let's look at the other way you can gain meter. Blocking attacks. Or more specifically, your opponent blocking your attacks. There we go. As you can see, I'm Scorpion. Now I have Sub-Zero set to auto block. No matter what attack you use, it takes exactly 12 blocked hits to gain you 1 bar. So here I'm going to do his forward punch. It chips for 1%, and it's a decently fast attack. I'm going to hit him exactly 12 times and watch as my meter fills up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I built exactly 1 bar of meter. Now let me reset the meter. This time I'm going to use his back kick. It chips for 2%, which is twice as much as the forward punch, and it's a much slower move. Now watch as I hit him exactly 12 times and still gain exactly 1 bar of meter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. As you can see, I've gained exactly 1 bar of meter for hitting him the exact same number of times. Alright, there is a third way to gain meter, which is using special moves. Using special moves is an exception. Each move awards you a different amount of meter. However, it always takes between 10 and 20 moves to gain 1 bar. You can combine the meter gain of special moves and moves being blocked. So having your opponent block your special moves is by far the fastest way in the game to build meter. However, it can be pretty risky since a lot of special moves are unsafe. If you'll watch... Here, let me reset the meter again. Watch as I gain meter for shooting my spear, and then watch as I gain meter for him blocking it. Watch very closely at Scorpion's meter. As you can see, you gain meter twice. It's quite a bit of meter for just 1 move. Of course, Scorpion's spear is a bad example since it's so unsafe. Here, watch again. As you can see, it's a good way to build meter. Now that you understand quite a bit about how to gain meter, let's talk about how to use meter. One thing that I think is really important in this game is to look at meter usage on a meter-to-meter basis. A lot of people will say, oh, I have 2 bars and I'm being hit by a combo. Let's use a breaker. Or, I have 3 bars and I have a chance to use X-Ray. Let's use X-Ray, you know? But I think it's always best to look at it at how much damage and how much position am I gaining for each meter. So, that being said, let's move on to enhanced moves. Enhanced moves cost 1 bar of meter and usually give you mostly some sort of positional advantage. This includes super armor, such as Scorpion's EX Spear, which unfortunately you won't be able to see since I can't control the dummy. That gives it the ability to counter fireballs and really gives you positional advantage from full screen. Another good example is Scorpion's EX teleport. As you can see, Scorpion's normal teleport is rather unsafe. You bounce, they get a full combo. If you use EX teleport, not only is it safe, but you're actually quite plus on block. So you have a free mix-up off of that. Another good example is Smoke's Enhanced Shake. You can trick your opponent with it, because normally it only counters projectiles, but it gives you a physical counter if you use EX. You see, all of these don't give you a high amount of damage just for using the bar, but they do give you a lot of positional advantage. Enhanced moves do also have the ability to give you a damage advantage or life advantage. You can add them onto combos, but most of the time they only give you about 3 to 5% per bar, which isn't very good. Remember, as I said earlier, you have to take half of your life to gain that one bar. So are you going to trade 50% of your life for only 3 or 5%? I don't think it's a very good trade. Alright, let's move on to breakers. Breakers cost 2 bars and cause you to break out of your opponent's combo. Now breakers, by far, give you the most efficient life advantage out of all of your meter options. Considering the damage of average combos ranges from 30% to 50%, depending on the character, you're going to be effectively gaining 15% to 25% life per bar spent. Now if you compare that to the 3 to 5% damage increase, from using enhanced moves, then you start to see, really how efficient breakers are compared to just, say throwing an EX slide onto the end of a combo. Now breakers don't just give you life advantage, they do give you good positional advantage. For one, if your opponent's rushing you down and they hit you with a combo that you break, now the pressure is reset. You get put back into a neutral position. That's really good if you're being rushed down. Also, what I think is maybe even more important is if you have your opponent in the corner and they break your combo, and you break their combo, if you have your opponent in the corner and they break your combo, they're now sitting there for a free mix-up since they are knocked down so close. So that really helps you continue your pressure and lets you do some unsafe things on offense that you normally wouldn't do. Alright, let's move on to X-Rays. X-Rays cost 3 bars of meter and cause your character to do an attack that goes into a cinematic for very high damage. I'm sure you've seen it if you play this game. Each character has a different X-Ray, just so you know. So, as far as life advantage goes, X-Rays, they do deal a lot of damage. However, they're considerably less efficient than breakers. For instance, here, let's look at Scorpion's X-Ray. Unfortunately, he has one of the weakest X-Rays in the game, but let's take a look at it. Oh, sorry. Now let's look at it. As you can see, Scorpion's X-Ray does 30% damage. Now the average X-Ray deals between 30 and 40% damage. I believe Kano's is the highest with 41%, however it's a grab. Now, if you look at this number, you get approximately 11 to 13% damage per bar of meter spent for hitting a naked X-Ray. Now, compare that to 15 to 25% that you get off of a breaker, and you can see it is slightly below. However, it's not a bad choice. But again, looking at 11 and 13% compared to adding an EX move that gains you 3 to 5%, you can see there's a big gap there. Now when you combo into an X-Ray, the damage usually isn't worth it. It only usually increases combos by about 10 to 15%, which gives you only about 3 to 5% meter, or damage per meter spent, which is effectively the same as enhanced moves. But there is one extremely powerful bonus for comboing into X-Rays, and that's the fact that they cannot be breakered. They are unbreakable, which is a word that I've just made up. Unbreakable. Now, this is a great way to finish your opponent off who has a lot of meter and a medium amount of life. For example, if I was to, say my opponent was at 30%, I could go, and I could do a combo. Oh, that could kill the opponent, right? But if they had breaker, oh, they could break it. So if I really wanted to finish them off with X-Ray, I could just go, oops, sorry. I failed doing spear. And they can't break the spear, so, oops. Well, it combos. I'm sorry, I missed it a little bit. But there's no way to break with that combo, and that will finish them off. So X-rays are really good for making sure that your opponent dies. They're great for finishing them off. There's no way to stop them. If you can combo into them, there's no way to stop them. You just have to make sure that they can't break any hit before the X-ray. Now, X-rays, as far as positional advantage, are always different as for how much they give. Some X-rays are really good at stopping fireballs like Scorpions, as you can see his was full screen. And some are good at anti-airing, such as Kung Lao's. You can't even jump behind him. Every X-ray really has its own use. The only common factor among them all is that they have one hit of super armor. That means they can absorb one attack, no matter what the attack is. There's only one exception to that, and that's that X-rays do break X-rays. So if Sub-Zero was to hold down its X-ray to try to absorb my attack, and I was to X-ray, I would break right through his, and I would get mine off first. Alright, so I hope this has really made you reconsider how you're gaining and spending meter, which is just a hugely important factor of the game. And I really hope this improves your game. So everybody, just keep on practicing, and thank you for watching.